Greetings, blessings, salutations, and love. Once again, welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott, here to open the panel up, share some conversations, some discussions, and hopefully offer some inspiration, encouragement, maybe some entertainment too. You never know what's going to come through on these YouTube screets, as they say. Um, Today, I am filled with peace, to be honest. So often I'm hit and go live, and I got a lot of ideas bouncing around within me and a lot of things to express. And today, I feel more reflective, more at peace, and just one with all that is. And that is kind of my intention. I was thinking about this before the stream. My goal today is to offer and to share some of me, some of who I am. And for those who like it, they'll receive it. For those who don't, well, they'll have something to talk about or complain about. Whatever it is, all I know is what I hope to offer. And today I do hope to share some appreciation. What's up, Cynthia? Blessings to you. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to everyone, whatever it is. It's Sunday for me today, Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, maybe. And maybe if you're tuning in later, it's another day. I skipped out on church this morning and I decided to just spend time in worship within. And it felt good. Felt good to stay and just, I don't know, living this life the way that I have. The way I'm living now, it's quite different than what I used to. It's quite different than what a lot of other people perhaps are. But I don't really know how anyone else is living. I just know about myself. And what I do with myself, what has helped me immensely, is my practice. Two things, very simple. I only live right now. Now is the time that I live. And it feels good to be grateful. So that actually kind of brings up the thumbnail and the ideas of today. Happy Sunday. Gratitude is the key to unlocking happiness and joy. Gratitude, it's the key for happiness and joy. And we can all use more happiness and joy in our lives. It's up to us to find the gratitude. So the tip for today, spend your time with intentional gratitude. And if you're having a tough time with gratitude, recognize your state of your mental state. If you're having a tough time finding gratitude, check into yourself and check into your mental state, because gratitude is easiest found from a place of humility. When we don't see the good, we've gotten a bit arrogant. And we may not think we're arrogant because we're so insecure. We're so afraid. But the two things go together. It's a brilliant design what God has done with all of us. The way our minds and emotions work, the way the laws of the universe work. There's a perfection and an order to all things. It's glorious. The perfection and order to all things could be celebrated, could be appreciated. Like the fact the sun is always on time, the seasons are always there. And then you move beyond nature into what man has cooperatively shared. The fact that we get to enjoy a hot shower or a cold shower, if that's what you're into, but sure feels good to have a hot shower, running water, right there in the house. And then to have community services so you don't have to load up the pickup truck and go travel all the way to the dump. And, I know there's people who still do that, but where I'm at, it's kind of convenient. You put the trash out, someone else comes and takes it away for you. So I'm kind of wandering off on things, but there's many examples of what we can be grateful for, what we can appreciate. And you know what? Our poll, you, Cynthia, several others, man. I sure do appreciate you. I genuinely, genuinely do. And how could I forget overlooking Talcott Express? Holy cows, the support I've received from some people, it's humbling. It truly is. And it feels good. Which kind of ties back to what I was saying earlier. My purpose of joining today is to share some of me. Because I really do. I kind of love me. I have so much fun with myself, laughing. I'm funny as hell when you let me relax, I think. Sometimes I'm funny when I'm angry too, though. So I get it. Um, anyway, the idea today was not an egoic thing. It's not an egoic need of, oh, I've got to get some numbers. I've got to get people's attention. No, I feel good about me. I feel good about the day. And I'd love to share time with other people. And this is the way that I've been able to figure out how to do that. Praise God. um, my faith today in the unknown, in the spirit of the unseen, the light, my faith in God and my faith in the good. It's pretty new for me. Okay. It is really new for me to find this pattern of optimism, of cheer. Um, I'm growing into it. I'm getting more comfortable in my faith, I think. But that's really easy to say when I'm not being challenged right now. It's when the challenges come up and the conversations. Holy cows, my mind just connected. Miss Lindsay Smith, I'm grateful to see you again as well. Um, you're a rock star, my friend. And I regretted the last time we talked. I regretted my part and I appreciated everything I saw from you. So grateful to see you back again. Hoping others may join. And for any who are interested, please feel free to click the link. You're welcome to join. I may or may not. I have very little intentions of doing another 5-hour stretch again today. But if people want to join up and we chat for a couple of hours, that could be ideal. But along the lines of, I can continue monologuing though too, and sometimes I enjoy that, and I do have the intentions too of eventually going back and editing out some smooth talking points where I'm able to share, and I'd love to do some shorts and some shorter videos too. What I'm hoping to offer into the world that we're living in is really no different than anyone else, I think. We all want to feel safe in the world. We all want to feel good about who we are. We all want to know that we are valued, that what we're doing is of value, that our actions aren't just meaningless. Doing the actions void of meaning. That's the thought that came to my mind, is many people's jobs. Many people have jobs that really don't bring themselves meaning. And even if the job might have meaning, right? Because let's face it, even the employee who's restocking the shelves, right, at the grocery store, or flipping the burgers at the fast food place, it can appear, and it is perceived as a menial job. But when we go to these jobs and we're doing it just for the paycheck, right? You show up and only do what you're told, and you're only doing whatever has to be done, or you're going through life living like that, only doing what you're told, only doing what you think has to be done, without any heart, without any care. It's one way to live, and I used to live that way, without a heart, without care. But that's partially truth, because I did care. I just didn't allow myself to care as deeply as I did. But the point is, like any of these jobs, if you can see the meaning behind restocking the shelves, recognizing the value you're offering to the customer who comes in hoping for replenishment, for convenience. Whatever job we're doing, if you can find the reason, the way it serves others, the way the world is benefited through your actions, if you can find how the world is benefited through your actions, it allows you more determination, more focus, more joy and peace. I got a lot of theories about human behavior, mainly from studying myself and listening, studying and learning from others. One day, I do hope to get into conversations about theories of behavior and see what we can figure out as far as true or not. Where my mind was just going with that, some of the theories of behavior, it ties to our patterns of selfishness, greed. Actually, let me step back. The thought that came up, honestly, was about, I don't think human beings are supposed to be tamed. And that is what has happened. We haven't been educated and taught how to live amongst each other. There's been all these rules and punishments placed above us. So everyone's learned how to obey. Obedience is a way of taming. The brilliance of how history has developed is amazing. I mean, say there is the Luciferian being, entity, archetype, the Luciferian being who is here on earth to control mankind. You want to control a beast, you tame the beast. And you know what? That's what's been happening. But beasts, you take a lion, take a tiger, you put them into a cage, you're not taming it, you're you're placing it in unnatural conditions, and the beast continues to be. The tiger is still a beast, the lion is still a lion, right? The man and woman is still a beast, even though tamed. Actually, we got a lot of human beings who have not figured out how to be tamed either. But regardless, these are the things I think about a lot. I'd love to get into conversations about how the world got this way, and then also what we can do to change it. Because the two go together. Once you know the one, you can know the other. Once you know the problem, you can find the solution. I've been seeing this question. Come back. Are we worthy enough to stand in greatness? Friggin' love that question. That's a question every one of us should be asking ourselves. Am I worthy enough to stand in greatness? And if I believe I am not, why? Why would I believe that I am not worthy enough to stand in greatness? What benefit could that serve the world or myself? Now, I'm sure there are areas where I don't know. I don't know. Myself, actually, Mark, I love that question because I know how egoic this can sound, but this is from a place of humility. I know my value. I know what I've learned. I know the power of wisdom. That's the strength, that truth, the confidence that truth can empower a person with, the knowledge of self. I spent most of my life believing myself I was unworthy, and then I created patterns in my life for the evidence to prove to myself I was unworthy. I'm open about my past drinking, and I gambled and porn and food and just all sorts of nonsense I used to live with. And I used to prove to myself I was unworthy. I was unworthy of love. I was unworthy of success. And then love snuck its way into my life. Son of a gun. Next thing you know, I started thinking I could do better than I'd allowed myself to think. Love actually ignited a spark within myself that said, all right, this is enough darkness. It's time for a little light to come out. And in order for my light to shine a little greater, I had to allow myself to be comfortable. And you know how hard it is to feel comfortable when you're afraid? And then you don't even know that you're afraid? I think I went through a lot of time where my body was afraid, and then I didn't, you know, I'm feeling it, so shit, I better figure it out. And then here's some reasons why I'm feeling afraid. Here's some reasons why I'm feeling angry. The question was about stepping into greatness, and amen. I want anyone listening to believe. Maybe you already have stepped into greatness, but you allowed yourself to stay humble and you didn't recognize the greatness you've already offered. And then, as far as where we are today, yeah, every one of us, every one of us is worthy of greatness. Now, greatness, define that. How about be authentic? Because I believe anything authentic is pretty great, man. As long as it's true and it's got integrity and a solid structure to its character, picture an old car. That's kind of what people's are. We're just old things that have been gathering and collecting. Collecting personalities, collecting behaviors, collecting habits, collecting. We're collectors. Oh, that reminds me. Some of the thoughts I had. Slavia, please. Yes. Quiet while filing in, having a seat. But I understand. You guys are welcome. You're coming from high energy. I understand there'll be a little chaos. But yes. File in, come to order, take your seats. Do I ever experience any permanent or long-term side effects of the drinking? I do. At the end of my drinking, I think I did some nerve damage, some damage to my nerves. Occasionally, when I'm grabbing a cup, I'll get tremors again still. But beyond that, I don't believe so. I got checked out by the doctor, by the physician several times or especially early in my recovery. And my liver was not looking great when I started, but as far as I could tell, as far as I know, praise God. Um, Hey, these are questions. Mark, I love where you're taking those questions. Thank you for the participation. Every one of us can be asking this question, and are we not deserving of all the riches provided by the Creator? Are we not worthy of all that life has to offer? And if we're not worthy, if we believe we're sinners and we're filled with shame and we're filled with regret and fear and judgment, if we believe we're filled with all that stuff, you better believe we'll also be judging ourselves as not worthy, not deserving. And there's a lot of people, this is some of the discussions I've been listening to elsewhere. Today I shared, here, I should bring this up, pull it up. I watched a wonderful one. For those who know Thoughts on Thinking, this guy's a real, I find him very intelligent. He's got kind of a dry presentation. He's very intellectual, very intellectual. But he's got a brilliant mind. And this one today I felt pretty inspiring. The flesh is full of fear and the spirit is not. Here, let's see. I'll give you a taste.
Fear, but the spirit is not. But if we walk in the spirit, we shall fear nothing at all. All of our fears, we could say, are based upon the flesh, are based upon our bondage and our attachment to the physical world, everything in relation to the world.
Fear comes from the flesh, and it comes from our attachment to the physical world. And the flesh is only part of us. The flesh doesn't have to control us. It doesn't have to limit us. The spirit is not contained, not limited.
Because fear is basically in this fear of that I will lose something physical. I will lose this thing that I cherish so much that is of this world. Now, people are in fear of death. People are in fear of losing their money, their property, their assets, other physical things of this world which we entangle meaning towards through bondage. Yet the
bondage. See, when we attach ourselves, we are creating a bondage between ourself, the entity of who we are, which includes the flesh, includes the body. But when we become attached to things, we create a bondage between our entity and the thing of the world.
Bondage we form with the things of this world creates codependence. We create codependence with the physical things we bound ourselves to. And it doesn't give us freedom. It doesn't give us any sense of freedom. We attach ourselves to the things of this world, which in return reap us the disadvantage of fear into our lives. Because our fear comes from the bondage we create with the things of this world. Because spiritually, we are not supposed to be bound to this world. It is not our true home, you could say, which is why when we become bound to these things of the world, we don't get fulfillment.
Anyway, I dropped the link there, and I do encourage, check him out. Young man is very, very gifted in his presentations, and he gets a lot into a lot of different things. Thoughts on thinking. A lot of Jungian discussion about integrating the shadow, becoming the individuated, the activated self. There's a lot of wonderful teachers out here in these YouTube through this connection, through this technology we've got. There is an abundance of knowledge available for us to share. And I feel like that's kind of what I've been doing. My life, I've been like a gatherer, a collector of knowledge that I've been able to discover here on earth from all of these gifted teachers at this time. And I think if I'm right and there is a spiritual meaning to this life I'm living, it's a theory I thought of a long time ago, right? when Jack, a nobody postal clerk, small time union instigator here in Spokane, when I got the idea to try and really do more, to stop limiting myself, to try and become more like the perfected example we were given. My thoughts of, well, I know if you want to be like someone, you want to pattern their behaviors. There's value in that. Brothers and sisters, there's a science to it. And there's science as people have studied this, the data of it, the benefits from mimicry, from the idea of using our mind and imagination into the beingness of a different, we can learn. It's another method of learning. So in my idea, if I wanted to be more like Jesus, I wanted to understand, okay, if you want to be like that, you need to know what they know. Well, he's the Son of God, so he knows God. Jack, do you know God? Nope, I do not. This was a few years ago. So I was thinking, okay, well, if I know God, what would that mean? That would mean I know everything. Okay, I can't know everything, but I can learn. I can learn what I can learn. So what can I learn? And then I started diving into sciences, neurosciences, um, all sorts of things. God allowed me to learn some amazing things. Discovered we are blessed to be alive at this time here on earth. I'm telling you, because knowledge is that which fills us. Knowledge is what empowers us when we know what is true. So back to this story. There was a point I was getting to. Jesus was the example for mankind to show us, right? The power of one, the miraculousness and the impact one man of knowing and devoted faith, the impact that man can have on the world. I think that was the lesson from 2,000 years ago. So in my mind, I listened to a lot of Terence McKenna and a lot of other philosophers, the idea of novelty in the patterns of duplication and recreation, patterns of novelty and recreation in life, in the way life moves. So I thought, okay, well, so it would be in the patterns of what God's normal patterns of creation are. Should God want another telling of a story, it would be very similar but very different. Every snowflake is unique. Every story is different. And yet, if you wanted to recreate and share the same meanings, you would have similar patterns. And each of us humans, we've been gifted with this skill, this art of pattern recognition. Some of us see different things different ways, but we each have this pattern recognition ability within ourselves. I saw the pattern of my life, my commitment, the way my heart, my body, the way I was feeling mentally, physically, spiritually. All of these feelings, clear conscience, no guilt, far, far less worry. When my mind, my body, and my spirit are feeling incredible, I took that as a sign that I was on the right path. Remember, I chose the goal to try and follow Jesus, become more like him in my bodysuit. And I'm not claiming to be perfect, but I'm saying I think there's significance in my life. Because if this is right, Jesus was the example, showed the world the power of one, what one man devoted with faith could accomplish, the good things that could happen. And I'm of the belief that those of us who are alive today and those who join me, because I'm committed to this, I believe we are the second coming. Those who have learned of Jesus and the way, the way taught by him and many others, but the way of love to God. Those of us who call ourselves Christians or followers of Jesus, when we unite as one, as brothers and sisters, like he told us to do, told us to be, as children of God together, the body of Christ is known through us. So if I'm right, the future history, looking back, the future will show that Jesus showed mankind the power of one, and that we will be showing the future, the power of mankind when we come together. Because that's my goal. I am a peacemaker. I am a man of peace. I hold peace in my heart. I hope to bring resolve and help bring peace, share peace, remind people that, hello, wake up, peace, right now. We only live right now. We live right now. Peace is right now. And with peace and our mind connected to our hearts, the heart's intentions, the heart knows what is true. This is fascinating. Hey, Walt, from my words, what do you think is reminding you of that? I think Jack's feeling about the big hike away from his house coming now. I'm assuming you're talking about the house being taken out from under me. But I'm certainly not discussing any of the worldly things at all. I'm discussing the ways of spirit. So I know, Walt, and I didn't mean to pick you out, not at all. But I'm talking about the spirit. The spirit is the essence of who we are. And the truth is we are spirit in human form, experiencing just a blip of time. We could be done today. I could be done today. We don't know. You could be done today. Whoever you are. We don't know. We don't know when we're going to end. And so I believe if we unite together with a little humility, a humility for the honor of being, praise God. I do feel honored that God allows me to be where I am, how I am, who I am at this time on earth. You know how many crazy stories are happening right now, like really bloodshed and pain and suffering. I am so grateful. I am so grateful. See, and this, my brothers and sisters, time with intentional gratitude. It's okay to give yourself permission. Give yourself that permission. You know what? I've not been feeling good lately. I've been feeling real tense, real easy to trigger. I've not been feeling like my normal self. It's time for me to feel a little better. And nothing can make us feel better than gratitude. The best way to find gratitude is to think, what do I appreciate? What can I appreciate? What can I share with appreciation? What do I enjoy sharing so others enjoy receiving from me? With intention, with time, when we stop and think about who we are, what we're doing, and life can change. Life can change in so many ways, and life does change in so many ways. It's just, how do we embrace the change? Do we run from the change? Do we fear the change? Hey, dumbass, I love you. I do. I love all of you, sincerely. We're all here at this time for a reason. We all connected at the times we did for a much bigger reason than I feel most. We are, amen. That's what I believe. I believe we like here in the chat, these streams, those people who don't know each other but just kind of bumped into each other online. I think it's possible. There could be an incredibly big reason there. 2 or 3 times a week, there's a thought I'm not contributing to humanity enough to remain here, but somehow I snap out of that, keep on living. I understand those feelings, my friend. I really do. And here's where my humility has come in. It's been helpful. I humble myself. I don't know what I don't know. And it's okay not to know. I prefer to focus on what I do know. What I do know is there's no point in me worrying. You know, the world is the way that it is. Finances are the way that they are. People's opinions are what they are. All right. Who cares? Doesn't change my life. It doesn't change my situation. What changes me is how I feel. The energies that I allow myself to become, to incarnate, the energies that I spend time in, that's what becomes me. Excuse me. Hey, dumbass, I know you do. I know. Thank you. My artistic expression, if you can accept it, is words. I noticed that God has allowed me to grow and develop an ability with words. I first noticed it in writing. That was when I was more timid and less open, less willing to actually speak. And I probably could continue to write better than I speak, but these days when I try and write, my mind just bounces and my writing comes out, if you can believe it, probably more confusing than the way I speak. But words are my artistic expression. And you know what's funny? Well, I'm sharing my story. My old buddy Jim Sykes, Jimmy, he was the labor relations manager at the Postal Service. So he represented the agency, I represented the workers, and we became friends, actually. He's a wonderful man. And he was a true wordsmith. And it was watching him, admiring his work, that I developed a lot on my own. So words are my artistic expression. You might think it's a hobby for you. Some people, authors, scholars, they leave their legacy in writing. It's a method of communication and sharing. But writing is also, even if it's not your profession, I tell you what, there's something, I think, cathartic. I think that's the right use of the word. There's something healing in the process of writing, bringing the mechanical movement into the process of the mind, bringing just imagined thoughts or feelings, sensed feelings or imagined thoughts, getting those things out of the body and through the mechanics of writing, of authorship, taking ownership of what's within as well. There's healing. Okay. I encourage anyone who's dealing with confusion, stress, regret, even childhood pains. I encourage anyone dealing with those things, set an intention, right? Everything starts in here. So if you set the intention for your time, and what you want to accomplish, take some time and write things out. Set the goal that I want to remove this pain. I want to overcome this fear. I want to gain a different perspective of what is troubling me. You start writing things out, and it makes a difference. It's a modality I've picked up. I've heard from several other coaches and authors. I found benefit in it myself, so I encourage, get to know yourself. We all have an artistic expression. There is an expression, a creative talent within all of us. I believe, I know there is an artistic expression within all of us. Maybe it comes out through science. Maybe your art is math. Maybe your art is mechanics. We all have a creativity, a flow, a power, an essence to us that is magical. There's magic within you, within me, within us all. There is a magic to life that is happening, and we're a part of it. And what limits our magic? Think about it. What limits you from allowing yourself to shine? You do. It might appear that the world is preventing us from shining. This is a thought I worked through myself earlier. Okay. I know how I feel. I know how I feel life. I feel light and love, and I feel strong and good at this moment because I live right now. But I feel like I've been kind of spinning my wheels trying to figure out, all right, how do I get through this valley? How do I get over this hump? I want to move on to the next stages of the adventures and growth, success. Plus, I got to find a way to pay the bills, man. But looking at myself, and I'm like, all right, Jack, what's preventing you from shining? It's myself. I know there's opportunities I have not yet experienced. I've been trying to create different opportunities, praying. I've been taking actions, knocking on doors, trying to create different opportunities for me. And it hasn't happened yet, but the reality is, just because the opportunities haven't happened doesn't mean I don't shine. I can't shine. There's nothing that limits me from presenting myself with love, with light, with encouragement, with inspiration. There's nothing that prevents me from doing that. So that's why I hit go live. And I appreciate that all of you guys joined. I really do. I really, really do. Heart has its own rhythm. Amen. Learn to dance with it. I love that. It's something I never considered until I started this transition of life, this transformation I went through. Learn to dance with your heart. Allow your heart to lead. Truly. It might feel scary or confusing at first to allow yourself to give in to heartfelt desires, right? Like all of a sudden your heart is calling you to drive up to the top of the mountain, right? You see you're driving down the road and, oh, the mountain's calling to me. Allow your heart to go. It may seem kind of foolish, taking you out, maybe I don't know. Or going to talk to someone new, or asking for something you feel you've earned, some recognition, some worthiness, some attention from someone you care about. If we allow ourselves to go with the heart and allow the heart to lead, It feels scary. And for some of us, maybe, and actually maybe it's not scary for others. I mean, this was me. For me to change who I was and how I lived, completely by the mind and all trapped up there thinking I know it all and I'm all by myself. For me to change from that pattern to allowing my heart to lead, it was fucking scary. And then I went through phases of judgment, judging myself. God, you were stupid, Jack. Why'd you do that? Because obviously I haven't succeeded in many of my efforts, but I've been growing and allowing the heart to lead, and I have no regrets about that choice. I encourage others, consider, how would your heart lead you? Meaning, how would love lead you? Meaning, for those who follow the religion, meaning, if Jesus was standing here with you, with his compassion for you and your situation, what would his heart suggest for you? Because we all have that capacity of love. We all have the capacity of divine faith. Did you know that? I think so. Nemesis, dude, you're an interesting character, and I've been deliberating. Do I give my attention to you? I respect you. I appreciate that you're here, but brother, you're kind of confused. You're I know you're seeking, and I know you are finding your way. Who knows what the future's going to show for you, but the ego believes it deserves, okay? And this I deserve, they deserve, says who? God determines what we get. So it might be a fair exchange, to receive compensation. But if you're doing something for money, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. I'll tell you that right now. If you're doing something and it's the only reason is for money, it's not the right thing for you. Because anything we do should be important to us. And if we're just going to sell our creativity, if we're going to sell our gifts, and if you don't consider yourself a gift, well, check in, ask yourself why. Why do I not see myself as a gift? Why am I not in the present with the present? The present is the gift for all of us. And so if we join into the present, being who we are authentically, then we can be the gift for those around us. There's a reason I started into that. Recognizing the self-worth and the self-value that we share. Because it's really easy to sell ourselves to whatever, the first job that comes up. It's really easy to sell ourselves it's really easy to sell ourselves short, because that's what this world has taught us. And I tell you what, brothers and sisters, if you want to be free, break free of the world in your life today, right now. Break free of the world through the gateway, which is your mind. The gateway to your heart is your mind. Those two go together. And it's like, I don't know, now my mind's kind of getting into the design of the chakras and the way that we develop our mind and perspective and knowing in order for the energies to ascend. Looks like I froze. I don't know how long I froze. I was talking there though. Golly jeez. I am feeling pretty darn peaceful today. That's the wrong one. Oh, thank you, Lindsay. When I noticed I got froze, my mind drifted. I'm dropping the link again for any who may wish to join, those who are available. We can get into conversations about pretty much anything, I guess. I feel like I've shared the things I had intended. Although I kind of want to join back to some of these other conversations. The other conversations, of course, being living in the present with the loving awareness that is. I consider the loving awareness that is to be the Christ, the Christic, which would make sense with pattern of history and consciousness and the eternal nature of God in Christ and all that is. I know for a fact, brothers and sisters, that human beings, we've overcomplicated life in some pretty severe and disturbing ways in the collective. I started the stream talking about my appreciation, my gratitude, not only for God's creation, but all that the community and all that the world, the society has offered to me. Yeah, I paid for stuff, but I didn't create a lot of the joys and comforts that have been created for me. There's a connectivity to all of us. There's a unity for all of us. The human beings of the past, including our parents, our mothers, our fathers, the aunts and uncles, the cousins, everyone we knew, they had the right heart, the right intention. But brothers and sisters, we're here in the world of the confused, and we don't got to do anything. We don't have to do anything. And so if you can recognize that truth in your life, hold yourself accountable and recognize I don't have to do anything except what I choose. That's where freedom is. And since we only live in the moment, if you can get out of the patterns of living in your mind and living in the memory and living in the past and living in the world, if you can allow yourself to move, change your mindset, there's a term I'm trying to think of, whatever your focal point, where your focal point is positioned. If you can see your experience not from the physical form, but from the spirit of form, which is you, which is beyond the body, recognizing that this body is a vessel. The body is a vessel that houses my spirit. It doesn't contain my spirit. My spirit is not limited to this body or this time. Neither is yours. And that's who we are. We are the spirit of our being, the nature of a divine human being, the nature of a divine human being, which was demonstrated by many ascended masters. It's within us. All we have to do is surrender. In order to surrender, you must find the courage to be humble. And I'm telling you, the rewards of becoming humble, the reward that comes from being courageous enough to find humility, man, you get gratitude, you get faith, you get, you get all that life brings. What I'm talking about is surrendering to God, recognizing the facts. And I believe these facts can be flushed out and perhaps even proven that without the divine intelligence and consciousness of God, actually, it doesn't. Here's where it comes. Without God, I am nothing. Simple as that. Without God, I am nothing. God is everything. Now, that's not what the world teaches us, but the world teaches us that we are everything. Everything, I'm the only thing that matters in this world. I've got to survive. I can't give because I got to care for me. I can't care for them because whatever. If you can recognize God is everything, I am nothing, you are correct. And then when you recognize that from the nothingness, you can allow God to fill you. And from that state of filled with God's love, it feels so divine. I mean, it feels like you're high. You kind of are high on life. You're just like emptiness and fullness all at the same time. And with practice, I heard someone, I don't remember where these conversations were at, but someone in the stream pointed out meditation is listening. I actually practice meditation listening without connection, without attachment. I meditate wherever I go. I mean, as often as I can remember and as often as I feel. You can sit silently wherever you go, even with your eyes open, and just, it's easier with your eyes closed, but just close your eyes for a moment, as long as you're not driving, operating heavy machinery. This is the whole idea. You develop this practice so your body is in tune with it, and just you slip in real quick all the time. Doesn't mean you're not going to get triggered. Doesn't mean you're not going to get angry. You're not going to get worried. It just means that when you get triggered, when you get angry, when the worries start rising up, you've got to practice within yourself already, because you've learned how to become humble. Humble to the moment. Humble to the past. Humble and hopeful for the future. When we get humble, then we find our true place, our true relationship between ourself and God. There is a creative force. I call it the Godhead, the Goddess. It's all available for us to know. The spirit of the beyond and the heavenly realm, these are all ideas and concepts for us that really do help us to understand what really is. Because we are living in a world, brothers and sisters, that things are not always as they seem. How ironic I say it like that, but blessings to you. Thank you. And I've noticed I do have a calming voice when I'm not angry and butthurt. But I've noticed people will fall asleep. Just they get so comfy and so relaxed, and I'm talking about love and God, so they just and they're out. Oh no, I understand what you said, Jack. Oh, okay. When you were sleeping? All right, whatever. Hey, I appreciate it. I appreciate I appreciate life. And brothers and sisters, if you can build yourself into that practice, if you can just start appreciating life, that can take up all your mind. Welcome, Jack. How are you, my brother?
Hello, Jack Talcott. How are you, my friend?
I'm feeling blessed. I really am.
And what are
I
you
was,
blessed for?
um,
I got Christmas lights, Jack. You inspired me.
I saw that, and
Mm-hmm.
it looks good, my friend. Mine
Yes.
keep dropping down. I'll
I
have
had to
to.
get those like Home Depot little thingies at the with the I don't know, some kind of sticky thing to put on the wall.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
with the
got
removable tab.
all sorts of nifty things that I. Yeah, it'd be an easy fix. Everything's easy with the right tools. And
Yes.
today, in the world we live in, there are a lot of man. You asked the question, why do I feel blessed? I feel blessed because it's easy to feel blessed. My mind has become open, and my heart is always, I don't know, the habit. I seek blessings, I know blessings, and I hope to share blessings.
You definitely have a big heart, Jack.
You do too. Thank you,
Oh,
my
thanks,
friend.
man.
I
What'd you eat
appreciate
today? I want to make sure you ate something.
it. Damn it. I was going to cook something before the stream and I forgot. I
You gotta
bought,
eat.
uh, actually, they're pretty good.
What
Like
is it?
processed food is what it is, but they're frozen little, they're vegan, like,
Meatballs?
no, it's more like a quesadilla, but it's not quite a quesadilla. It's something like that. I don't know what the right word is. They're good. They're good. Um, I don't know. Today I didn't wander out for church. I continued to allow myself. I've still been nursing on these stupid nicotine pouches, but I'm feeling within myself that today may be. I'm hopeful today is the last. That
Try to
tomorrow
remove them
be a
from your scene tomorrow. Tomorrow is
huh?
a chance to make a new movie and just put them so they're not visually in your perspective,
Yep,
and then maybe it won't, it'll help, something else will be more attractive and help you forget the idea that they're even in your scene.
brother. I forgot that was you. That was the word that was setting me up in helping me to find the motivation and empowerment. That was the plan. If I get them out of the scene, then they're not in the show. Thank you. That came from you, my brother.
And by
Yes.
the way, this is the best show on YouTube right now. Hit the like button, subscribe, donate. It's we're here for the game. Help us get through.
Oh, amen. Respect. I appreciate that. Machine Lies, blessings to you too, my brother. Um, Good to see everyone. From Whitey, blessings to Whitey. There was something else though. What's going on with Simple Jack? I saw you were streaming earlier today. I didn't pop in, but
Not today. I did post
oh,
some content. I posted some video game content. I played Battlefield, which is a competitive large map game with
mm-hmm.
other people online who play. And apparently, I'm good at it, and people like to watch it. And so that's what I do on my channel. I also post YouTube shorts, yada yada bing. YouTube's been very good lately. The community's been really looking at my stuff, and my channel's growing. So I
I
did
love
that.
it.
Yeah, and when I play Battlefield, I have the opportunity to capture moments during the gameplay. So all it is a capture, a short edit, and then a post. It's real easy for me to do. So it's like working
Sweet.
while playing.
Love it. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's easy, you get the pattern down and it's going to keep adding your content, building the subscribers, trying to grow it up. Very
Yes,
cool.
yes. I've learned that a lot of people aren't gonna like this, but it's the truth about YouTube. It's called the copy and paste technique. It's real simple. 80% of YouTube is someone else's stuff that someone's just re-uploaded, and either reacted to or just re-uploaded with a little editing, and it's popular.
Yeah. I actually I was hoping to run into Cynthia. You familiar with the creator Jake Tran by chance?
Not yet, but if you'd like to check out his channel, that'd be cool.
He's not one that I really promote. I do enjoy his content. I really do. Let me pull him up. He did a very interesting he did a very interesting video the other day, and he's offering YouTube creators one-on-one support. He opened up a program yesterday, I think. It might be filled by now, but here. Oops. Hey, we've got a guest here. Let me bring him up. Welcome, our brother, Machine Lies. How are you today?
Cheers.
Hey, how you guys doing? What's going on?
Feeling blessed. Here, let me knock this out. This is who I was talking about, Jake Tran. He does some very interesting videos.
Very interesting thumbnails. Very wow, they're really good thumbnails.
Well, he's got what 1.8 million subscribers on this channel, and it must have been one of his other channels I watched. Anyway, he's got a program. He's developed a system to create what he calls automating his video making process, and he's working with others. His goal and his claim is he can get people monetized and to big numbers very quickly.
What I'm doing is a balance of me, content that I produce, and a content that other people enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I produce what I want when I can, and if people enjoy that, they can subscribe. I also have I also, you know, it's not just me that attracts people to YouTube. It's the whole idea of things that are great attracts people to YouTube. So I'm doing a mix of both.
I love it. Hey, speaking of great things on YouTube, let me jump to
Right here.
Machine Lies. Welcome, brother.
Thank you. Thanks for the intro. Yeah. I got a crazy thing to share with you guys.
What's up,
I think
man?
I think I shared it on my show before. I think you guys will get a kick out of it. I think it's about emptiness. You're talking about emptiness and emptying your vessel.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is the premier thing. In terms of that, I don't know if I can pop that up, but yeah, it says, "He who rules men lives in confusion. He who is ruled by men lives in sorrow." Yao therefore desired neither to influence others nor to be influenced by them. The way to get clear of confusion and free of sorrow is to live with the Tao in the land of the great void. I think I gotta scroll down this. It says, if a man is crossing a river and an empty boat collides with his own skiff, even though he be a bad-tempered man, he will not become very angry. But if he sees a man in the boat, he will shout at him to steer clear. If the shout is not heard, he will shout again and yet again begin cursing, and all because there is somebody in the boat. Yet if the boat were empty, he would not be shouting and not angry. And then he says, if you can empty your own boat crossing the river of the world, no one will oppose you, no one will seek to harm you. The straight tree is first to be cut dry. The spring of clear water is first to be drained dry. If you wish to improve your wisdom and shame the ignorant, to cultivate your character and outshine others, a light will shine around you, as if you were swallowed by the sun and the moon, and you will not avoid calamity. So he's talking about emptying yourself, crossing the river of the world, emptying your own boat, becoming this empty vessel, and remaining without judgment, and he points out that this is the best method that you have to employ if you don't want to be ruled by others, and not rule others, neither, lord it over other people, nor have, them get things over on you.
No, I've seen Jack do that really well sometimes, is being able to empty his boat and forget things in the past. You know what I mean? A boat can have baggage.
Thank you.
And then that's where, I see people come back who I think personally wouldn't be able to come back on my show. And, Jack brings him back. I'm like, Jack, what are you doing, man? He's just going to yell at you. But Jack's like, this one time
I
is going to
know.
be different. This one time's going to be different.
I know. Just like Charlie Brown and Lucy in the football. This one time, she's gonna hold it this time. But hey, Machine Lies, thank you for bringing that. And Simple Jack, thank you, because I was trying to picture that. Initially, my thought was picture others as the empty vessels, so you don't yell at them. But the message is empty yourself.
Yes.
And
Yes,
right.
like the body is the temple, So
Yeah.
it's like you have to be an empty vessel, meaning that you have to purify the place or the spot where you pray, which is really your heart. You start from the heart, because you want to offer sincere acknowledgement of whatever's going on around you, and real awareness is tapping into that, that real spirit that's there. And what it is in order to do that, you really have to purify your heart, which means really clarify what your intentions are. Don't have duplicitous, because it's hard to have sincerity when you're have one foot in the boat and and one foot on land, so to speak. That's not
Right.
emptying the boat. That's not even going anywhere. And once you reach where you get to, you have to abandon the boat. You can't just stay in the boat. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So the boat is just a tool that's used to get you there. You know what I mean? So this is all like, stuff that comes up in contemplating wisdom.
Well, when it comes to people and not being able to hold grudges, what helps me is to remember that we're all children of God. And as if I was a father, would I hold a grudge against my child for doing something in the past? No. You would
Right.
not hold a grudge against a child who's still learning. That's just the whole concept just seems bad. So treat everybody like a child, like you're a adult figure, and then if everybody's children around you, treat them with love and care, and don't you wouldn't hold a grudge against a child. So
Amen.
Yeah, no, and speaking of Jesus, that's one of the things that Jesus says is that the children are, they're purified in terms of, they have pure hearts, so in a way, they're like a better version of ourselves. If we could only see things, through their eyes, we would learn that it's not so hard, to forget about things, forgive other people, and to, just kind of have a playful attitude towards the world and its happenings. And that's why Jesus can walk on the water. He doesn't need a boat. I mean, talk about emptying your boat. This is real stuff.
Amen. I don't know if I should. You brought up a lesson I learned the hard way. And you know what? I'm going to share this for parents. Fuck. What you just said, you don't judge a child when they're learning. You don't hold a resentment, right?
that's what I would personally think that's what
That
I would think.
that is proper. And that's how we're supposed to be. But I know my son, when he was couple of years before we split apart. Matter of fact, I was still drinking. He somehow my card was linked to his stinking game, and he drained my bank account, and like $3,000 was gone. And I remember holding that over his head for like at least a month. At least a month. Don't you forget. Don't you forget you stole. I taught the kid guilt. I taught him to carry guilt. I taught him to carry shame. What kind of fucking man does that?
Well, Jack, this is
What I
actually a good
knew.
time to apologize.
Amen.
You
Amen.
know, you could call if you had
And
an opportunity to call your son and say, "Hey, remember that one time where we were both learning and you spent too much on my card? Well, I was also learning in that moment, and I hope you can forgive me for being a jerk."
that's the hope. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
and I'm sure we'll have our day. But for parents, there's something about making sure the kids learn the discipline, making sure they learn honor, but let them grow, let them make mistakes, and don't teach them guilt and shame.
Hmm.
That's what I knew. That's what I taught my son. Unfortunately, it's true.
Thank you,
So,
Jack. I just learned that. Don't make people feel guilty and shameful. I never thought about that to today. Thank you.
well, thank you. This is one I actually considered regarding, I think it was the Passion of the Christ. It was either that or maybe just in my mind, but I'd considered the fact, and I think it was in the Passion of the Christ, as he's going through that torturous thing, he's not crying out. He's not, he's doing a good job of not showing pain. Why? Well,
I don't know. I would have flinched at the first whip.
me too. Me too. However,
I'm like,
however,
ah!
what I realized is when we do show pain, when we show pain, other people feel guilt. And so he didn't, my image was that he withheld the expressions of pain so that the others were not burdened with the guilt of what he went through. And it's just a theory, but I know that's part of emotional maturity. And I know I have caused damage by sharing my pain.
I have. Me too, Jack. I've caused a lot of damage, so that's two of us, brother.
Thank God, God allows forgiveness.
It's yeah, yeah. It's good to
Well,
be Christian.
if you look at the saints and some of these types of people, they're able to empty their vessels so much that they're able to control their autonomic nervous system. Because the mind is such a powerful tool. That I don't even think that there may be proof that Jesus was able to control what he felt in terms of the pain, because you see some of these Sufi guys that are kind of like, with their eyes wide open, they're like sticking like metal stakes through their body and like, just like looking, and they're not even bleeding. They're able to control the blood from coming out. And, I mean, it's just kind of incredible stuff, that people are able to endure by just, to a certain extent, we're not aware of the ability we have to control pain, and that's the thing, is that in order to have a good adventure to, in terms of having an empty vessel, you have to abandon fear and not pain. You have to accept that a certain amount of pain is going to be part of the process, because it's a rough journey ahead, if you want to take the road less traveled, so to speak.
Yep.
Yeah, there's gonna be all kinds of thorn bushes in your way, all kinds
Exactly.
of rocks, all
Yep.
kinds of challenges because you're 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 yeah, dude. Great ways to put that. You know what? I just thought of something that really helped me connect, really establish the idea of God for me right now. Is people say that God has the ability of unlimited power. Well, so does our mind. Like,
Amen.
how did people not put those two and two together? That our mind has so much
Yep.
power that there is literally a schizophrenic guy who has different personalities. One of his personalities is that he's blind. And the people are like, there's no way. And then when he goes in that personality, his brain literally shuts down in certain areas and becomes stronger in certain areas. People are like, dude, this is a blind brain and a guy with eyes that work. So it's pretty amazing the power of the mind and the unlimited power of the mind. So I'm just,
Dude.
yeah.
Yes. The power of mind and God. I heard someone, well, part of my story. I was attending a book club. Um, the book we were studying was How to Become a Christ. And there was a couple of things in the book that at first I chuckled and, laugh and dismiss, but talked about how insane people are. And I didn't want to accept that I was insane, but it's true. We are insane. I forgot why I brought this up. I'm sorry. There was something connected to what you said, Simple Jack. Now I forgot what it was. In the class of
Hmm. I was listening, but I lost track as soon as you said insane.
yeah,
I was like,
I'm sorry.
insane. Insane. Hmm.
Well, the insanity is the belief in things that are not real. And what is not real, if we believe in fantasies, we think we're living in a world where, I don't know, it's imagined. We're in a state of delusion. We're confused about what is real. And humanity is in a state of insanity. Oh, that was the connection, God in mind. Someone actually made the comment to me, God's in your imagination. And I dismissed it. I said that's kind of well, God is everywhere. God is everywhere, and if we want to know, where do we go? We go into our mind in the realm of imagination. There's a powerful connection there. Go ahead, please.
Well, all I know, if I didn't have a voice, the only way I could pray is inside my head. I could still pray even without a voice.
Amen.
So there is power of the mind.
That is where our power, everything. We are so powerful in our minds, but we've got to trust. We can move past. We can move into where we don't know. We
With training.
can
With training.
with training and practice. Amen.
With friends and community, also talking about what's in our mind and what's in their mind. It all has to work together. You can't, if you can do it by yourself, that's fantastic. But I recommend a team. I
Amen.
recommend a team. I've had a team back me up. I look for a team. I tried to do it by myself and it didn't work out too well. But if you can do it, more power to you. But I need a team. And I will admit, I need a team.
And that's another thing that you were talking about earlier, brothers, was the relation between the heart and the mind. And I implore people to use the heart in a similar way, because if you can't feel it and then do it, try doing it and then feeling it, because really the thing is that sometimes letting your feelings guide your actions is a lower stage of action, really, because you should let your actions guide your thoughts, and then let your feelings follow along, because that is a powerful stage of being, is acting on what you know, instead of you know letting your lower level feelings guide what you need to be doing based off of some sort of convoluted center, and that's another part of emptying your vessel, is like finding truth in the world, and acting in the world, and not you know letting your emotions put you into moral paralysis. You know what I mean? You know?
Amen. Hey, when you press back on something, and I think you're right. Everything you're saying is absolutely true regarding mindful action, the feelings that come through mindful action, and keeping all of that connected. The reason I was offering the encouragement to lead with your heart, and it was a thought I didn't think through clearly before sharing it, but the intention is to live more like a child, right? It's so easy in this world, especially as adults, when we learn the craziness, it's real easy for us to carry these burdens of worry and responsibility on us There is so much value to be found just from letting go, just for a few minutes, every once in a while. Let yourself go and have fun like a child. Be one with the moment, the opportunity. But don't live your life just going, well, live it how you want to live. But there's got to be a balance. And I think the best balance is when we mentally get out of our way, staying present in the moment, staying grounded and attached, connected to our experience. Because this is our experience. And I know I don't know if this makes sense, but I went through a lot of my life not paying attention to my experience. All I noticed was how much I didn't like it. I was focused externally on the world. Wasn't
Same
paying
with me.
attention to me. You too?
Yep. That's how I got so much hate and built up inside me. And that's where I get those references. The world's on fire around me. I was seeing everything around me. It was like you go to school and they tell you, well, we guys take global warming, and you look over and the guy's throwing away trash right next to you on the ground. I'm like, didn't you go to the same school I went? Like I thought we all went to the same school and got all taught the same thing, but you're not doing your part. And then I realized, well, America's doing this, and it just adds up to this thing. I'm like, bro. And then when I started focusing on myself, my life got better, and for people around me, their lives got better.
I believe that. And that's what the world's going to take, is all of us. I know it's easily said and it's kind of cliche, but if it's true, if all of us start doing the work within ourselves, we're going to make it better and easier for those around us. And through our actions, monkey see, monkey do. People are, we learn through mimicry. So I think as you improve, as I improve, as people around us see it, it ignites a little motivation within others. And the next thing you know, we're going to have a world full of people who are grounded, present, caring, who know how to have fun and get shit done all at the same time.
And to back up what Machine Lies said earlier about feeling what you do before actually taking the action, having it built, knowing what to do inside. To back that up, Machine Lies, most professional athletes will tell you, I saw the move in my head before completing it. Tony Hawk saw the 900 in his head before accomplishing that. So many athletes will tell you, I saw it in myself completing that rotation, and they saw it. So they saw success, and then they went and did it. So that's to back up what you said, Machine Lies. Thank you. I totally agree.
It all starts in the mind. Hey, I don't know if you're willing. I wanted to press in and travel in your mind a little bit, Machine Lies, regarding some of my fascination, this is personal, my fascination with the Essenes and the distinctions of the Gnostics. I have my interpretations, but I don't know a lot, and I'm curious to learn more. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we can do some of that if you would like. In terms of the various groups of Jews that existed before the advent of Christianity, there are some of the groups were called the Essenes, and some people think that John the Baptist and some of these people were part of these groups because they were around the same region in Qumran. They kind of stayed out in the desert, and they were also ritual bathers. So they practiced baptismal ceremonies. And I guess their idea was that the temple was committing heresy. You know, they had sold themselves out to the great empires of the world. So they said, we're going to go to the desert, into the wilderness, and purify ourselves and wait for the angels to come and destroy essentially the temple in Rome and all that stuff. So they're purifying themselves, waiting to be warriors so that they can go into Jerusalem with the angels and you know, essentially take that bitch over.
So they
You know,
were, sorry, they were already resistant to some of the growing mainstream then. And
exactly, exactly. They were resistant to the mainstream Judaism. You know, they were resistant to the Pharisees, and they had kind of a different idea than the Zealots. You know, the Zealots kind of had a more political system. They wanted to establish through the liberation of the temple rights. You know, so they were against the Sadducees and all of those types of people paying service to the Roman Empire. You know, and the Pharisees were kind of the oral the guardians of the oral tradition. So they were kind of like the scholars of the Jews, but they had made up all of these false traditions that Jesus had criticized them for. You know, they had
yeah,
made kind of loopholes, you
yeah.
know, and sewn these loopholes into the law of Leviticus so they could basically perform all sorts of wicked acts, you know, against the people. And yeah.
I've heard theories that Jesus may have learned through the through the Essenes, or at least been a part,
Some
because
people,
there's
yeah, yeah. Some people find they're likely candidates for that because of the figure of John the Baptist. You know, you find Jesus going outside, you know, into the wilderness with John the Baptist, and he's a man who covers himself in camel hair and, you know, eats locusts, you know,
right.
and honey. You know, he lives on wild locusts and honey. He's kind of a man that's getting these people outside of Judea into this ceremony for ritual bathing. So he's kind of described in a way that the Essenes were described, you know, in ancient
Gotcha.
times, and also they had books, you know that certain Pharisees and certain of the other Jews rejected over time, because we see that whatever the oral tradition was, some of it was used to formulate the Talmud. And you see a lot of things that are forbidden in the Torah are allowed in the Talmud. So it's kind of strange,
That's
it's, yeah.
sorry. That's what I've heard. The Talmud is another one I know of, but I've not really looked into much. I don't have a lot of depth, but the
Yeah.
historical religions are fascinating to me.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And that's where the Gnostics come in, because in the way that the Essenes are pre-Christian, you know, you know, sects that rejected the mainstream Judaism at the time. You know, this other group, the Gnostics, were kind of a minority group within Christianity that kind of took an extreme view of the Christian teaching. You know, they kind of took a very strong rejection of the law, and focused on the spirit, and they said that people could receive these personal revelations through the spirit. You know, so one of their main leaders was Valentinus, and he wrote like things. He like kind of like channeled these visions, you know, and they would all kind of like channel these visions, and they would have their own books. So they actually invented new books, you know, like they wrote things like the Gospel of Judas, and they just kind of like made up these stories, you know, kind of in contrary, and their stories were more about transforming the role of Jesus in the Gospels into a allegorical symbol that pointed towards spiritual ascension, of how we can escape this world, because they thought the flesh was a trap. You know, they thought that actually the demiurge who wrote the some of them thought that this figure had actually written the Old Testament. You know, and they
Interesting.
believed that, yeah, and they believed that this figure had encased spirit into matter, and the only way we could become like essentially these lower level spirits called archons, had encased spirit into matter, and we had to rise above the level of these lower level beings, archons, into the realm of the aeons, who live in the this realm called the pleroma, which is
Right.
which is like a super material realm where only like the aeons and the gods exist, and that's where the spirit that created this world, named Sophia, dwells. And this was a female spirit that created this world without a male consort, so her creations were extremely out of balance,
Yeah.
and they created mankind as a mistake, essentially, is what they say. So that's a rundown of Gnosticism. It's kind of a radical interpretation of spiritual of rising above the flesh, like this dialectic between spirit and flesh that's seen in the Gospels. They kind of take that to its furthest extreme, and they say, well,
They
this
take it
world
further.
is just yeah, this world is like a cosmic prison, is what they say. Well, that there's no fixing this world. So like, if you say like you want to end all wars and all that stuff, they say no way. This
Right.
world is hell. There's no
Right.
way to end all wars in this world. This is a demonic realm
Yeah.
created by archons. So they reject that form of thinking, because they believe we're in that there's no fixing this world. This world is literally created as a cosmic jail cell.
Brother,
so the Gnostics are wild. Yeah. I would say they're mistaken in my view, but
I agree.
I've been thinking about this because this question has been brought up a lot during our talks, is why God allows evil. And I was thinking about it, and the best explanation I could come up with, it's not that it's evil, it's that the world is trying to balance itself. And unfortunately, death has to come in different forms. It just has to come. If the world is balancing itself, who are we to judge the way it balances itself? That's all I can say about that. Like, evil is subjective. What exactly is evil? You know what I mean? Like, we understand some things of it, but honestly, like, that's what it is. It's the world balancing itself. How would you balance death?
Well, I think it's kind of like what it says in the Tao Te Ching, that one would only know the existence of beauty because of the existence of ugliness. So I think that's close to the truth. And then it also says a truly good man is not aware of his own goodness. So it's kind of like this kind of false realization that the more you think you're good, the more evil you really are. And also the more evil you see in the world, the more it's kind of a a way to do whatever the hell you want. Like, like somebody said, like Isaac Newton said, I frame no hypotheses. Well, that's the perfect cover for anything you want to do. Just say, well, I'm just completely objective. I don't,
But
you know,
isn't that what
Channel,
you
you ignorant
did,
slut.
Isn't that what you just did though? By claiming that you know about Gnosticism when you're painting your narrative of that? Because
No, you'd have to ask Paul what he did.
demiurge is not just a Gnostic perspective, okay? And this world is corrupted, and it always
No,
has.
he did reverse
Flesh is a
psychology.
trap.
Somebody find
The
Paul.
flesh
yeah,
is a
because the
trap.
demiurge is also seen in the writings of Plato. So in the writings of Plato, the demiurge is actually seen as a good guy. So he's in Plato's writings, the demiurge is
And you're
kind of like
Muslim, aren't you?
the deistic.
And you're Muslim, aren't you?
He
Well, I'm just
says so.
explaining.
Well, you
Gnostic.
just sat up here and we're talking about something that you obviously don't know what you're talking about. So I came to correct.
Uh-oh.
No, I can know.
Wait,
I can know
whoa.
about whatever I want if I'm
Yeah,
Muslim. I can learn about
Uh-oh.
other religions if I'm Muslim. That
Dude.
doesn't mean
Well,
I don't.
don't
wasn't
say
me
that.
this time.
Hey.
Don't put out false information about.
Hey,
Well, I don't know.
religion that
I don't
you
know
haven't
why you're
studied
Goblin.
in
claiming
depth,
about
my
what
guy.
I know and what
You know
I
what?
don't know when you don't know what the fuck I know and you don't know what the fuck I
Well,
don't
you
know.
just
Goblin founded Disney World.
Like,
I
good luck
did
to you,
that.
brother.
I removed Goblin because I don't know what's going on here.
I don't
We're
know.
not gonna We're not going to allow
Goblin hired Werner von Braun.
Tommy. Please, I love you, and
Yeah,
I
he's
want to
on
have
some kind of a
fun.
trip.
I love you guys, and I want to have fun. But
Remember,
Goblin,
and
I'm
Ken.
not mad at you. I just wanted to let it be known that he's only speaking of knowledge that he's aware of.
Right. Just
Okay,
speak about
and
what
that's
you
all
know.
anyone
Don't
can
speak
do.
about what I
Receiving-
know, because you clearly don't know what the fuck I know. So just speak
Okay,
about what
Goblin, I
and
never-
as a Gnostic,
talk about
I'll
knowledge.
tell you
Don't
that
criticize-
I don't believe that
you know,
I'm
you're
going
gonna
to
talk
a
about
world
what I
of
know
material.
because
here,
you know it
Machine
just
Light.
demonstrates that you're a dumb.
You will never
Here,
catch
hold on.
Goblin speaking on something he
on.
doesn't know.
Hold
That's
on.
a fact.
Hold on. Okay, so let's without the attacks, Goblin, of you don't know or whatever, okay? If you feel that there's something incorrect, we can talk about it.
Yeah,
But
just share. Yeah,
let's
just
not
share your
jump
own
to the
knowledge that you
assumption.
have about whatever the subject is. You know, you could
Yeah,
clarify.
I said,
Please
panel
do.
you ignorant slut.
But yeah, if you don't really lay anything out, you know, you just talk about, oh, yeah, you're wrong. Well, show me how I'm wrong then.
Hey,
You know,
Jack,
be my
this
teacher.
is your
Be
panel,
my
and I would
teacher if
like
you
to
want.
invite you to a book called The Book of Jew, Jeeu. I've been breaking this down little by little, and it does talk about ascension.
That's not how you spell small hat.
I
Hold
hear
on.
you, bro.
Okay, and so please help me understand better because I missed
Oh,
when you
where to
came up,
start?
Goblin, it got a little chaotic.
That was all. I really just wanted to come and share that with you guys. Just look into
No,
the
but
Book
you
of
didn't. But
Jew.
you didn't
all
even
right?
know. I mean, excuse me if I'm being rude, but like you came in and told me I didn't know about Gnosticism. I mean, here's your opportunity to teach me about Gnosticism. I mean, go the
Oh,
fuck
I
ahead.
just
God.
feel
Like, you can't
that
fuck-
there's more
you know,
that you
like
might
man,
be
now you're being selfish with your own knowledge that you came up here. to share.
Philosophy, bros, am I right?
If you have anything, like go ahead and share it, bro.
I just want to welcome the two new guests on the panel. Remember
Thank you, Simple
when you
Jack.
joined that? Yeah. To recognize that.
Jack, the only thing that God's allowing is free will. Simple, Jack, that is. Free will causes evil, causes the touching of
Oh.
children, also causes beautiful, wonderful, good things.
Fucking enlightening, really, guys.
Well, humans
Don't
are
worry, Machine Light. You'll get to tell us what one philosopher thought about another philosopher before.
Golly.
That's not what I was doing. I was talking about the Essenes.
Oh,
and the
not
Gnostics.
yet. I know you'll get to it.
Hey,
It's when he
was
brought up that
actually-
Valentinian, that's what drew my attention because that's a specific type of Gnosticism.
What-
Okay, so we're narrowing it
Yeah,
down.
Valentinian.
I believe it's-
yeah, but I was
believe
just
it's
giving an
pronounced
example of one
Gnosticism.
type of Gnosticism, and then I talked about the, Gospel of Judas. I talked about the Demiurge and Sophia. These are regular concepts.
Right.
So I don't know how any of that was false.
Yeah.
It's not false. It was limited. And that's why I
Okay.
would like to invite you as well as Jack and anyone else that hasn't looked into this. It's
Well,
the
let me
Book
ask
of
you.
Jew.
Let me ask you, are you
Goblin
a
is the
Gnostic?
foremost authority on limited things.
Do you ascribe to Gnosticism? Goblin.
Do I subscribe to it? Do I believe in Gnosticism?
This is Uncle Fatty
Yeah,
doing the
that's fine.
CBO.
Yes, I do. Do I
Okay,
believe that
okay,
there is an ascension that we can
Right.
reach? Yes,
So
I
you
do.
believe in a specific type. That's why your criticism. But see, I was laying out the different historical modes.
there you
and
go,
the
Jack.
transitions of it.
Like,
and where
share the
origin
chat
came
that's
from,
doing the CBO
Like
thing.
one of those types is Valentinianism. I was just giving for example, and you're right, it was limited. But if you subscribe to a specific type, yeah, of course, I would love to know about the type that you subscribe to. You mean for real?
Do you guys believe that we can reach a level of enlightenment other than just in the physical?
Nope.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
I believe.
Okay, that's all that you guys needed to say, and now they see it for what it is.
Have fun with your hairless monkey existence. It won't be forever.
I'm not sure. Thank you, Goblin. I appreciate it. Appreciate
you for
your
joining.
efforts and what
Man,
you
I
bring.
think sometimes he might have drank himself smart.
Hey, Tommy, how you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Doing well, man. It's good to see you.
Thanks.
Are you
Good
doing
to
LARP
see you.
church tonight, Tom?
No, I pushed LARP Church and Rage Monday back a week because got some shit popping up here, and I want to just get ahead of some YouTube shit too. I'm sick of every week I'm racing to finish something. I just want to get ahead like YouTubers used to do.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you.
And I could use a break away from you assholes.
Yeah, the internet it's not a healthy place to be on all the time.
Well, and yesterday I was asking Jack yesterday if he felt like we're hitting another lull in the community, and I think that's a good time to take a little time off.
There you go.
Week max. I mean, I'll be back by Sunday at the latest.
Good for
How's
you.
your dog doing, dude?
He's doing pretty good.
All right, cool. I remember you.
He's just still. Oh no, he's still sneezing up blood. But then people with dogs around the park and stuff are just like, yeah, it happens. But
Oh.
yeah, I don't know. I'm just keeping my eye on him and checking with the vets, see whenever. Because regardless of how my dog is, the vets are still packed here in Colorado with that mystery illness. But yeah, I ran into this lesbian-looking lady I cross sometimes walking her dog, and she talked like it ain't like she's had bloody nostril dogs, and she acted like a rural man about it, like it wasn't shit to worry about.
I'm glad to
How's
hear
your
that.
cat doing, Jack?
Yeah. So I acted like the lesbian woman. I said, no, the internet tells me that's dog cancer. He's got a tumor.
Huh.
Huh.
I love you, man. Can you relax?
I'm fine. I'm just having
You are
some
relaxed.
soldiers right
This
now.
is
are
Tommy relaxed.
He is relaxed. You're right.
And sometimes these panels are too
for-
relaxed, and you forget that there's an aspect of viewmanship, showmanship. We're on a TV somewhere.
That's true. That's true, Tommy.
Yeah, but see, I'm not here for.
Oh, look at the chat. Illuma Tommy runs a puppy scam. Illuma Tommy faked the moon landing.
Right. You did
Snafu
it all.
Map.
You did it all.
No, I'm just doing Snafu Maps whenever he just pops
Hey,
in the panel
how
spouting
about we-
accusations.
How about we come? I'd like to come back to the spiritual conversation.
Then why did you share the puppy scam comment on the TV screen? Is that
You
Freudian?
brought it
Do you
up.
want to
I
talk about
was
the puppy
showing
scam?
what you were talking about.
Oh, they see. They all see.
Oh heavens, Tom. So now, all right. So now, what about what I asked?
Well, I believe that, like I said, everything's a balance. If there's a physical, then there's a spiritual. It's that simple. Something else. Like I was enjoying Cynthia's show the other day, and she was like, "How can you feel somebody?" I was like, "Well, do you ever feel anybody glaring at you? Like you could feel them, like you can feel them transferring some kind of negative energy or some kind of intent. That's spiritual. How do you feel someone looking at you?"
Hey, this is
That's
what I
maybe
realized.
like. That's why I have a theory that your soul is surrounding your body rather than in your body.
It's within and around. But consider this: our bodies are for senses. That's how
And
we
fucking.
experience. This body is a sensory organism. It's a tool to sense, to feel, and we feel what we know. And this is the way of creation. The spirit knows. So the spirit communicates to us, through us, with our feelings, the feelings and thoughts.
Well,
You definitely said words.
you know, it never clicked when people say, "Dude, you're in my bubble." You ever hear that?
True.
Don't. You're in my bubble, bro. Get out of my bubble. Is
That's
that what
your
we're talking
AO.
about? You're in my soul energy, dude. Get out of there, bro.
Yeah, your military games that's your AO that they're in.
Yeah,
Your area of operation.
yeah. So, yeah, I believe in it, and that's what I had to do. I had to. I personally had to reconnect my soul to the Father to complete the cycle. I was just wandering around, bouncing off of things, bouncing off, reflecting, absorbing, and all this, and I was just like, dude, I can't handle what's going on. I couldn't handle it.
Good for you. You found
Yeah.
humility.
I joined the team. Yeah, I joined the team.
Good for you.
I think we've narrowed down Red 40
Many
as
bubbles.
approximately 3 or 4 all-time chatters. This was the point about all-time chatters. You can't give them much credibility, much weight. I believe he's CIA and 2 other prevalent ones I'm forgetting off the top of my head.
Okay.
Speaking of forgetting words off the top of our heads, as a lot of us seem to occasionally lose our words off the top of our heads, that seems to be a symptom of being the victim of narcissistic abuse.
Losing
Explain.
the thoughts.
losing like the word you were going to say. And there's other reasons you can do it. You can eat too much ecstasy where synapses aren't firing clean. You just be getting older and stupid. But yeah, one of the symptoms of being a victim of narcissistic abuse is to be tripping up words you usually know.
We get trapped
And
in our mind. Trauma creates these interruptions, and in our mind, people get trapped in their minds. And when we're trapped in, people suffering from trauma, and this would support what you're saying, people suffering from trauma, they've got an unsettled mind, and so even in a conversation their mind will bounce to something completely separate, interrupting the patterns of speech and understanding. Makes sense.
that's one of your patterns, Jack, is to wasn't paying attention to what we were saying.
Well, sometimes, certainly, I do my best to pay attention, to stay present on these panels, but they get chaotic, and sometimes people come up and they just talk. They talk just to be able to talk because they finally found a place to talk, and it's like, okay, well.
And you don't hear your name very often. You're like, whatever.
Right, somewhat. I don't know. I do know that my purpose, what I hope to do here on these streams, is just what I've been saying.
End wars, make a perfect world, be the Antichrist. I know.
No,
Jack, are you the Antichrist?
I want to help people find. So I'm suggesting people develop their own personal relationship with God to make peace within themselves.
You didn't answer the question. Are you the
And
Antichrist?
you want to label me as the Antichrist.
I'm asking if you're the Antichrist. I did not label. I implored.
Well, my obvious answer is no, but now I'm curious. Okay. Why do you even ask?
Because he's going to even resolve like the small hats versus everyone thing. He's going to end wars, Jack.
And again, you're taking my words out. Go ahead.
You picking up what I'm putting down there, Simple Jack?
It's content, bro. You were just called the Antichrist, and now people are like, wah. It's
Talcott Clip is scrambling to his workstation as we speak.
Yeah. Tommy is a meme machine.
I know.
All right.
Guilty as charged. Guilty. Is the meme machine.
Yes, look at his avatar. He's staring into my soul with his burning, what is
eyes of truth, burning fiery eyes of
Sargon glasses.
Mm-hmm. The truth is so bright, I gotta wear shades.
Yeah, it's like Wonder Woman had the lasso of truth. Tommy's got the glaring sunglasses of truth.
Why did she fly around? Like, why can you see her but not the invisible jet? She's just seated position. Just going through the air in the seated position. That was weird.
That's how it was made.
I went to high school. Well, she joined our high school. I went to high school with a girl that used to be next door neighbors with Linda, whatever the original Wonder Woman was.
Linda Carter?
Yeah, she used to be her neighbor. Said she was a bitch.
Dude, that was a real woman. That's all I gotta say, dude. Mm-hmm. Like, if I could have a poster back in the day as a kid, yeah, that would have been one of them.
Hey, I'm feeling like maybe we should wrap up.
Way ahead of you.
I mentioned in the beginning, thank you, Tom. I mentioned in the beginning close to 2 hours, and I think that's probably appropriate. You're not doing anything tonight, are you? You did a long one last night, right, Machine Lies?
Yeah, I did a long presentation last night, continuing on my little a little train of presentations on religion. I presented different views of Gnosticism, and then I presented post-Christian views of the Trinity. Many presentations on that, and then I gave a presentation on medieval philosophy recently. So if anyone's interested in a kind of a progression of thought from the historical setting of the Middle East, tune in over there. And to the beginning 2 hours, I have 2 hours in the beginning, and then I open up a panel. So I've been keeping to that kind of schedule on Wednesday and Saturday. And then on Friday morning, I do a little seminar kind of discussion on technology. So I might have a debate tomorrow morning, 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. If you guys want to tune into that, it's just kind of impromptu. So I don't know if this guy will actually show up, but
Okay.
somebody wants to have a discussion challenging uh, the view against technology and science. So I'm going to be taking the negative view that technology and science have not had a uh, net benefit for the human race. But yeah,
Wow.
Great topic.
I mean, I could play the opposing view on technology, but to say it hasn't had a net profit, that's a steep one. I'm gonna have to tune in and see where you go, brother. I'm sure you've got it. I'm sure you do.
Enjoy your quesadillas, Jack, and you all take care. Hugs.
bless you, brother.
Respect.
Yeah.
Simple Jack, thank you. Machine Lies, thank you for joining me as well, brother. You're it's an interesting life we are sharing here on these YouTube streams. A lot of interesting personalities, and I'm grateful to have crossed paths with you. You got a mind I admire, sincerely. I respect
Thank
that.
you. Thank you. I just wanted to say for the audience that Jesus was in the Jesus walked on the water, when the storm was going on, and he was able to walk through the storm, and he's able to see both through the man-made structures of those who are in the boat, wondering why he's not in the boat with them, and also the forces of nature that are causing this storm. So he's both beyond what is natural and beyond the man-made structures. But yeah, thank you guys for joining us. Bless you guys, and I hope you guys have a good time emptying your vessel. You know what I'm saying? That was a key term, you know what I mean? But yeah, bless.
Thank you for that reminder. Blessings. And yes, tune in. The Machine Lies. Pay attention. He may have that debate going on in the morning, and that would be, where'd that go? I agreed with Joe there. Would be an interesting discussion. I'm not sure who's carrying the other view, but I do enjoy listening to some of these people. Kevin, I love that. Thank you. I don't always quote myself, but when I do, I don't understand how quotes work. Jack Talcott, you guys friggin' rock. Sincerely, Talcott Express, all of you guys. And don't judge me. I don't know if you caught it. Tommy said his plan is to take a week off. So it sounds like no Sunday today and no Rage Monday tomorrow, but stay tuned for Tommy for next week, as I understood. So with that, back to hopefully some reminders, some tips I found for myself. The idea of intent, gaining clarity within the mind. What is my intent for my time? What is my intention for this moment? What meaning am I bringing forth into this experience, whatever it is, through my presence? What is the gift I am bringing? And the gift is revealed with clarity in our mind, right? The intentions. And I tell you what, if you can within yourself find the courage to become humble to all the world is, all you've learned of the world, and then using your ability of comparison rather than judge, oh, they're so much better than me, oh, I'm so much better than them, rather than we use those comparisons in judgment. Use those comparisons, that ability to sincerely fill yourself with gratitude. Gratitude is found through appreciation. So maybe if you're struggling to find joy and happiness in your life, get that pen out, get the piece of paper, write down the things you appreciate from your experience. And then once you've got that list of what you appreciate, what you can be grateful for, put it in your mind, spend more time tomorrow, more time thinking about and spending time with the things you appreciate. And I tell you what, put yourself on that list. Learn to appreciate you, because self-love, self-worth, knowing that there is knowing there is a path for you, knowing that your presence of today is going to bring forth a future that we don't know. And it's really easy to get caught up with the limited thinking of the world, to say, oh, the doom and gloom, the world is going to end and blah, blah. Choose to live for the future, starting right now. Brothers and sisters, thank you again. Please do the subscribe thing, notification, and check back in for the future. I do hope and intend to return again to share some more gratitude. But until then, empty yourself humbly so that you too can be filled with the life that is within you right now. Till next time. Choose love, peace for everyone, and live without fear. Thank you again, and God bless us all.